This is the Lighthouse Keepers podcast, brought to life by Mary Ellen Sherlock and Anthony Marone, and his WIN Foundation in collaboration with the Joshua Foundation. Our mission is straightforward. In a world often focused on the individual, this podcast seeks to shine a light on the remarkable collective spirit of humanity. We're dedicated to bringing you inspiring conversations with exceptional organizations and individuals devoted to creating a better world. Welcome to the Lighthouse Keepers podcast. I'm Mary Ellen Sherlock.
I'm Anthony Marone.
And we're here today. We're thrilled to introduce you to our guest, Emily Ginas. Emily is here representing Gigi's Playhouse. Hi. Emily, thanks so much for coming here today. Obviously, Anthony and I know a lot about Gigi's Playhouse. Can you tell our listeners, what is Gigi's Playhouse? A national organization, 61 locations throughout the country.
Yes, so we are a Down Syndrome Achievement Center that provides free educational and therapeutic programs to anybody who can benefit from our programs, not just individuals with Down syndrome, although we are catered towards that through like the scientific research and everything that is backed behind our programming.
Mm-hmm. And can you tell us a little bit about, I know Gigi's Playhouse came into being in 2003, and it was actually the founder had a Down syndrome child, and that's how she created Gigi's Playhouse. You started working there in 2002 here on Long Island, in the Patchogue location, is that right? In the middle of COVID.
In 2021, yes.
2021.
Yes, so we opened in the middle of COVID. We were one of the first locations to actually make it through COVID.
Wow.
So that was a huge win for us as an organization. And we're the only one here on Long Island. So for us, we saw the need. We found the donors. The startup team did an incredible job. So we are based in Patchogue right now. We will eventually be moving to Bayport Blue Point, to the old Bayport Blue Point Library. And there we will be able to expand on our programs and hopefully get more people through that door.
Right. I think the most amazing thing that we've learned from Gigi's Playhouse is you take infants into school. But it's not, at least what you've told me, the Gigi's Playhouse is more than just about the children. It's the whole family. It's the parents. It's a community where you're taking these little pickles as young as 3 months, I think you said, right? Mm-hmm. And then goes on to however old?
Yes. So we actually just had one of our youngest come in. He was 6 weeks old.
God bless.
So we had the parent call, and she was like, all right, he's ready to go. Like, I'm ready to bring him in. I'm like, all right, if you're ready, I'm ready. Mm-hmm. So we had our youngest child, like infant, come in at 6 weeks old to our LMNOP program, which is language, music, and our peeps. And it teaches basic communication skills through things like sign language, which we have an individual, she's in her mid-30s. She teaches it. She went to school for ASL, and she's an individual with Down syndrome. And her name is Elizabeth. She's incredible. She helps teach that class. And it's not necessarily school per se. We have programming. So we don't provide schooling. That's because, you have to get all a bunch of different things for that, certificates for that. But it is programming that we provide, and it's 100% free of charge. We don't take anything from the state, no insurance, or anything of that sort.
Mm-hmm. And so you take babies that young and help with motor skills and, helping to dress and as the kids get older, everything, all of life skills.
Correct, yes. So we help with motor skills, fine and gross motor skills, OT, PT, all of that. So we have programmings that help with that area. We have wonderful volunteers. We're 99% volunteer ran. I am the 1%, and my part-time employee is the other part of my 1% that is not a volunteer.
Wow. Can you let us know how many families are currently in your location?
Yeah, so I actually it's called an impact report the other day that we sent to our national. And on that impact report, we have, I believe, close to 400 families that we're serving currently.
That is amazing.
And volunteers, how do you find volunteers to do this?
Volunteers, a lot of times we're linking up with the local community. So Patchogue has been a huge supporter of us, but we have the university right next to St. Joe's University. So we're working with St. Joe's. St. John's University from Queens just came out and celebrated our World Down Syndrome Day celebration this past Saturday, and they hosted it for us. So we're working with Stony Brook University, all these other schools that they need volunteer hours, but once you get someone through that door, they're stuck. They're stuck with us because they end up falling in love with it because it's not just rewarding and you feel like you're making an impact, but the families, you create bonds with families. I came into this not knowing an individual with Down syndrome when I first started. As soon as I met the first family, they just took me in with so much love and kindness and acceptance. And that is something that has resonated with me, and part of Gigi's foundation, like what our motto and mission is to be accepting. It's to be accepting, be generous, and be kind. And immediately through the door, that's what you get when you walk into Gigi's Playhouse.
You know, it's funny, Anthony and I, sometimes the people that we get to interview on the podcast, we talk a lot, it's very uplifting to us. We've found our vibe tribe. And you and I kind of said the same thing.
Yeah.
And like Marilyn, when I go to work, it doesn't feel like work. It makes I'm so happy to be there.
Yes.
And the families as well. You know, one of the things I know we kind of talked about, which was families that have a Down syndrome child. I found this wonderful quote from a mom who said, "I didn't plan on being the parent of a Down syndrome. I didn't know that was going to be my parental journey, but boy, I'm super in love with my tour guide." Yeah. And I do think, sometimes these parents, the child that has Down syndrome is such a gift. And that wasn't always the thought. I mean, even I have a Down syndrome cousin. I've known people with Down syndrome. That was not always the acceptance. How do you think that has changed? Is that more the communities like Gigi's Playhouse to be like, everybody, like you said, the acceptance? You mentioned something about we look beyond a disability. They are not their disability.
Correct. Correct. So the individuals with Down syndrome, they're one of the only types of disabilities, I say that with air quotes, that wears it on their face. So when someone looks at them, they're immediately already saying, oh, all right, this is somebody that's not like me. We look beyond that because there's so much to unpack there. That's not the way to look at somebody, and showing that little bit of kindness, that understanding, and just, I think it's a fear. People are scared, and we spoke about this early on. Like, people are scared to approach because they don't want to offend. So when you take that and you take a look at that, and you're like, imagine if that was you, and someone is fearful of you just because of how, just the look of you. You gotta take a step back and go, they're still a human. They're still a person. They still have feelings. They feel every emotion that we feel. And there's always that, they're always so happy. They have every emotion that we have. They get frustrated. They get angry. They get sad. You got to look past that. And I think what Gigi's has done, at least, is we've showed that. We're like, no, hold on. Come in, sit down with a family, sit down with an individual, and you're just going to act like they're one of us. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yes.
And that's how it should be. And showing that acceptance, showing that kindness and the generosity of just being there to be there. And you fall in love and you realize that there's no difference. There is no difference. There's no reason to have a difference. And just because someone looks a certain way, you shouldn't be judging a book by its cover. And I know that's a common phrase used, don't judge a book by its cover, but it's true. You shouldn't be. And I think that has really been the message of Gigi's, is just come in, be generous, be kind, be accepting. We have an event coming up on May 17th at Saxton Middle School in Patchogue, and it's called GFAC. It's the Gigi's Fit Acceptance Challenge, and we are challenging everyone in our community and communities around us to be generous, be kind, be accepting, and to accept everyone. And last year we raised, over $30,000. This year we raised it to 45 is our goal. And we're already at, I believe, $16,000 as of yesterday.
Wow.
So, and we have 2 months, we're 2 months out. So we're really looking forward to doing that, but it's not just about the money. We take the money off the table. It's about building that community, building that acceptance, and celebrating. It's celebrating the little things, it's celebrating the big things. And that is what Gigi's is. I think, and that is how we have impacted our community for this, for everything.
Emily, can you talk to us a little bit about some of the parents and some of the families who they have a Down syndrome child who has brothers and sisters, and a parent who's like, how does that change the dynamics of a family? Because sometimes people are like, well, he's just one of the family. It doesn't matter, that he's Down syndrome child. He's just one of four. How do you help parents kind of level that playing field?
Yeah, of course. So, I mean, when you have anybody with a disability in your family, and again, I say disability because it's people of all abilities. We all have abilities that are different, and so I use disability very lightly with air quotes.
Yes.
You have to think into the perspective of, do they have OT? Do they have PT? What do they have to do that maybe takes a little extra time? Learning how to speak, learning how to write, things that we take for granted, holding a pencil. If you were to take a rubber band and you would stretch that rubber band out and then try and write, that's what their muscle tone is like. So things that we take for granted and that we're just like, wow, they have a little extra time. When you have siblings, it helps them, I think, it gives them grace, teaches them patience. What we do at Gigi's is we have family support groups where it's like, all right, well, Mom's having a really rough day today, and we have a group, it's called Group Me. I don't know if you've heard of it, but it's like a little chat group app where we have a family support group, and some moms are in there, and from prenatal diagnosis, we have like new moms all the way through, we call them seasoned moms, where they've been in the game now for 20 plus years, and they ask for advice, they talk, they chat. We want to eventually get child support groups with siblings, but the whole family is involved. So if we have a program running, and a lot of time you have staff come, well, if you don't want your staff to come, you can come with your child. And that's what we're seeing more of, is a lot of the parents now like, oh, I don't have to stay at home. Like, we can bring our other kids here, our other children who are typical, again, air quotes, can come. And that's sometimes not a thing with other organizations. So when we have all these families, we'll have families of 5, 6 people come in, and they're all able to enjoy, they're all able to learn, and everyone can benefit from it. Everyone can use fine and gross motor skill tune-ups.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
So helping out with that, or just physical fitness. We have a physical fitness program where it works on your coordination, your balance, things like that. The whole family can get involved in that. And that is something that's very unique to us.
And do you feel, I know, so Anthony and I, we have kids, we talk about our kids, we talk about our, our lives. I think some of the times, as our kids have gotten older, we forget how little they are, how chaotic family life can be, school, homework, sporting events, parents driving different ways. So to have that centralized and the family all partake of being involved, I'm sure. And so another thing you kind of mentioned, this is blowing me away, that those families continue to come back.
Yeah.
As the kids get older and you'd think we're phased out, those families are still involved in the community.
Yes.
And
so it's incredible, actually. The model that Gigi's Playhouse has created for itself is absolutely incredible.
How do they plan the funding for these models? How do you initiate?
So we do have a corporate. So if we want to run something and say there's a new program that we want to run for an adult age, right? We kind of have to go through corporate and say, hey, we're interested in this. Do you have a program like this, or is this something that can be unique to us? And then if it's something they have, they'll kind of give us a program breakdown of, okay, this is how you can run it. This is how it should be ran. This is XYZ,
Where's the
1,
money
2,
come
3.
from? I'm an accountant
Donors.
by trade. I'm a CPA by trade.
Donors. We're 100% donation based.
how crazy is that?
That is just amazing.
And it's mostly from people within this organization, people in Patchogue, in the community. I mean, it's really, it's so important to get this story out. I mean, this is definitely
it's truly
a Lighthouse
incredible.
Keepers. It's really.
We are very blessed. Like I said in the beginning, we opened during COVID. We opened March of 2021, a year from the start of COVID. We still were able to open.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and it was a rough road. Don't get me wrong. Of course it would be, because the main way to make money obviously is by hosting events, doing a golf outing, things like that to bring in the big bucks, if you will. but we just had very generous donors and very generous community members and family members. The starting board that created this organization here on Long Island did an amazing job. And I will forever be grateful for them because they welcomed me with open arms. Someone who I came in out of college was like, hey, this is my first job.
Wow.
I don't know what I'm doing. And they welcomed me and they loved the chaos that I brought to them because I had no idea what was going on. But within a year or so, everything has just progressed. And now we are in 2025. We purchased our first building.
It's just like incredible.
It is. It's incredible.
At the cost of construction. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
But it's also a tribute to the spirit of what I think was originally started in 2003, where you guys were recognizing these families and these wonderful children and embracing them and making them and their families comfortable to be, you are so wonderful. You are absolutely perfect. We celebrate you. And I think that there's more people now that want, because it's there. When you go there and you said, Marilyn, it's so happy there.
Yes.
It's like everybody's happy. That people are like, I'll have what they're having. Like it's such a great environment to be around.
Yeah, it is.
Can you tell us what was one of your most heartwarming stories, families, where you're like, this is why I do what I do?
Oh gosh, there's so many.
That was nice. Did you hear that? There's so many.
It's hard to choose from, quite honestly. I would probably say, just in general, because I can't even give one story, because there really truly is too many to do. But when I came back to the position, so I was a site manager from 2021, from March to November. So I was only there for like 9 months. And I was like, all right, I gotta let go of the reins because I was too new to the nonprofit world. I needed someone with experience in there to really project this in the right direction. So I stepped away from the position and I went to the board of directors for the next couple of years. I wanted to come back after, being in the corporate world for a little bit. And I was like, this is not for me. Nonprofit work is my wheelhouse. And when I came back, so I came back in November of 2024 as the executive director. The first time walking through that door as the new executive director, one of the first families that I met was standing there waiting for me. And I got the biggest hug from Derek, and he was like, Emily, and I was like, oh, like it brings like tears to my eyes. Like he was so excited to see me. And like, not that I lost contact with them, but just
your role had changed. Being in an executive board versus being boots on the ground were two different things. I worked for the same organization, but it was just in a different caliber.
Yes. Yeah. And just like walking in there and being like, wow.
I never left.
That I think was probably like where I was like, this is where I'm meant to be. This is my calling in life. This is why I do what I do.
Yeah.
And anytime you come to the place, you'll probably see Derek there because Derek is there all the time. His grandmother, Liz, is my program director. So she's there all the time. Just he's her little sidekick. He's always there with me. So I really think that is probably one of like the ways that I was like, this is where
I found where I'm supposed to be.
Yeah, this is it.
Supposed to be.
Exactly.
Emily, if our listeners wanted to find out more about Gigi's Playhouse, where they can find you, what's the best place for really start that search?
Yeah, of course. So the best place would be to go to our website, which is gigisplayhouselongisland.com or .org. You can find it. It'll be the first one that pops up. We're the only one. So you go to that website.
Isn't that a problem? Don't we want to go to other areas? I mean, doesn't Gigi want to? I mean, it's just not located in Patchogue.
Yeah,
are we thinking about expanding?
So there is one in New York. We have, I believe, I want to say 8 total in New York State.
Yeah, because Westchester and also New York City.
New York City. Yeah. There's not Twin City. That's out west. There's a few of them.
I'm just saying, if you have the model, I mean, we have the problem. Do we just stop with one, or do we think about...
eventually we would like to possibly do satellites because, Nassau and Suffolk County they're quite ways away. Listen, I live in Nassau and I commute to Suffolk every day, and I live in Western Nassau, so and I commute to like Midway, Suffolk. So it's definitely it's a hike to get So patch
So that's what we're trying to do here with WIN, is we're trying to promote that there is a need, and hopefully we could raise money, get the community behind us, or behind you. What we do is we promote not-for-profits.
Yeah.
And there is a need to have it.
Yes.
So
eventually it would be ideal.
I mean, I know we were just setting something up here, but the more people that know about it.
Of course.
Well, we're happy to
I'm at fairs all the time. I go to SEPTA fairs and all those types of fairs, transitional fairs in Nassau all the time, just to get our name out here, because it's hard to be like, if something's solely in Suffolk, it's hard to get someone to come. We have someone from Queens come every other week, so there's a need. Like you said, there is a need. But eventually we
just got to let the public know of what you're doing, because it's exceptional.
Yes.
It's exceptional.
It really is.
And I never knew. I mean, I really didn't know about it.
It really is
the program.
extraordinary. I'm so happy to know the organization. I'm so happy to know you. You're doing incredible work.
Thank you.
Emily, I don't think we've seen the last of you. Thank you so much for being on the Lighthouse Keepers podcast. And I hope we're going to have you back soon.
Yes.
And some of your friends.
Yes, thank you so much.
Thanks so much.
Thanks,
everybody.
Thank you for watching and being part of this journey. Remember that lighthouses symbolize hope. With hope, we persevere and inspire positive change. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe, leave us a review, and share it with your friends. Until next time, keep shining your light.